And we are live. Actually, Pedro, before we get into the show, I forgot to tell you this before we went on. Oh yeah, baseball. We're gonna be talking about that.
Baseball.
Home
There you go.
runs,
Home
fastballs.
runs, base hits.
Do some real breakdown analysis. You want to hear the good news or the bad news of my life?
Always give me the bad
First.
first.
All right,
Always
bad
bad.
first.
Yeah.
I have jury duty.
People actually do that shit. I think I was called for jury duty. I know definitely once I got out of it. I feel like there was a second time and this still didn't go. But I don't know. Maybe
Yo,
I got
Pedro,
some kind of warrant.
you are probably wanted. You're gonna go to jail. You gotta go jury duty, dude.
I ain't worried about it.
Okay. Well,
I don't
guess
do my
the Hannibal
civic
show
duty.
because they've been trying to find Pedro for years. So I went to jury duty 8 years ago. It was a boring day, but I didn't get picked for anything. It was I got into one jury selection session where it was a car accident. And I guess I got out because I just said at that point I didn't drive. So I was like, I don't have a license. And they looked at me and was like, well, you can't be here, idiot. Because why would you? How are you going to help figure out this case? And I actually got a little annoyed it didn't pick me because I was talking through the thing. I was like, well, just because I didn't know how to drive, I can't explain it, but they didn't pick me. So now 8 years later, I got it in my mail yesterday, got super sad. I'm like, I do not want to do this. And then I got to try to find ways to get out of it. And now I'm talking to you, and you've never been on it, and you're going to go to jail.
You know what, though? I do remember. I feel like, let me reminisce. It's been it's been a long time, like 15 years probably. And I feel like there was either some kind of questions or something I don't know. You know how to answer certain things. Plus, if you go there in person, you can answer a certain way where you don't get picked. And if you want to get picked, there's also a way to kind of what the people are looking for, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to go to jury duty, bro. I'm sorry.
Pedro, you have to.
No, you don't.
This is terrible. So all right, have you ever served? Have you ever been picked and went to the courthouse and did the whole thing?
Served? What do you mean? What are you talking about, papers?
No. Have you ever been and did jury duty? Have you ever went?
No, I never have. I know I don't have a warrant though. I know 100% I don't because I've gotten pulled over and gotten tickets and had to. So I know I don't have a warrant. Yeah,
Pedro, we're gonna talk about this later. All right. Well, welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal, who has served and did jury duty. I've done my duty as a citizen.
Listen, I want y'all to put a thumbs up in the chat if you've done jury duty, and put a thumbs down if you never have. Go ahead, Hannibal.
Everyone has. I'm just letting you know, Pedro. Everyone has.
I bet you there's a couple thumbs down. What do you want to bet?
You all vagrants, and you all a downfall of society. We all gotta do this really boring thing. You know how much money they pay you a day?
Like $7, right?
$40 a day.
Okay, well, 7 back in the day. Okay, Lee says he's done it. Okay, that's one thumbs up.
Oh,
Jody told you. Look at that. Already, we're 50-50. Jody's never done jury.
Of course, Jody wouldn't. She's a Commanders fan. No, actually, you're a Patriots fan, I think.
She's rocking. We're degenerates. We're fine. Thanks, Jody.
All right. Well, hopefully everything's gonna be okay. I think they fined you or something. I forgot. They do something. There's a lot of warnings.
I ain't worried.
I could delay it once, which I did the last time. I'll probably delay it 6 months because by that time summer will be done and I'll go there in September, October. I'm not.
Look at that. Outsider 2, never been selected. So that means you've gone, but they never selected you.
Correct.
Or that means you've never gotten something in the mail before. It's one of the.
I had it. Yeah, I had it got in the mail. I was annoyed. I got it delayed. Did one day. 8. I think it was like a 9 to 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think I was working my regular job. But I'm wondering since I'm an independent contractor now, what do I contact Rover and DoorDash? Like, hey, listen, I need to get paid because they got me doing this. And I'm accustomed to making a certain amount of money per day. You think DoorDash will throw a couple of dollars at me? More than the 40?
You're kidding, right? I don't know much. Maybe Rover will throw you something, a little treat, a little doggy treat. I doubt that DoorDash is giving you anything.
But well, fair enough.
Yeah, but I doubt that.
So that's what's stuck. But I had some good news. I was checking on my Facebook, and I'm just like every other dumb consumer. Things get sent to me, and I'm like, I gotta buy it because that's America, right? Capitalism is spending money on things you don't really need. But I saw this, and I got to pick it up. I actually ordered them recently. Let me show it to you because I know you're gonna be excited as well. All right, the Black Panther Crocs, my dude. Look at these
Oh,
joints, huh? Look at got
look
the.
at them, Joe. What?
No, listen,
What? They got the.
listen. Black Panther. You know, African American. I am. You
Oh
guys may not
wow.
know. I'm a black
I mean,
dude.
listen, they look pretty. They
All
look
right,
pretty cool, man.
I'm gonna be looking.
That'll look good with your Aldi windbreaker. I'm sending you in the
Yeah,
mail.
listen. I'm gonna be looking real masculine. But listen, I gotta get my size 13s though, so you know what that means,
Oh
Pedro. You know
man,
what that means, size 13. But
I don't
just
know what it
letting you know.
means. Not really sure.
Well, maybe the ladies in here may understand what that is. It's okay. We'll talk later. But see, Nova Dash, he knows. Like, what are those? He
What
knows
are the
about it.
what Nova? What are those? Yes, thank you.
Nova, don't worry. You're not copying me if you buy them. No problem. We can rock them together. There's all terrains, and this is really good for if you're working at the restaurants or you're working, you're staying up all day, running around, you're doing deliveries, or whatever you guys are doing. I know a lot of people who checking out this channel, they're always on the move. These are the most comfortable shoes. My uncle gave me a lot of shit the last couple of years, me wearing them, and he finally bought a pair, and he bought 3. He's like, these are the most comfortable shoe I ever had on. Because he same thing like you, Pedro. Too cool. Oh, look at this weirdo. I'm not wearing those ugly shoes. And then you put a pair on your feet. You put them on your toesy woesies. They're amazing. They're just amazing. Pedro. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to say right now, we're going to do the bet for the Giants and Bears. If the Giants get more wins than the Bears, you have to wear a pair of Crocs for a week.
Man, my street cred is going to go down, and I don't have a lot of street cred. I'm not working with a lot. It's going to really plummet on these streets of St. Louis. I'm wearing Crocs, man. Listen,
where's your? I'll give you a favorite color. I'm not even gonna give. I'm not gonna play. Try to give you pink.
Well, listen. I will say this: if I was gonna wear some Crocs, I mean, I guess I'd have to just go black. Okay. I mean, only because they would match everything.
No one even would notice too. They wouldn't even notice you wearing black.
No, they think I'm basic. Okay, listen. I've worn. Listen, I remember that's coming back to me. I've worked in kitchens a long time. Managed kitchen, was a kitchen manager. I've worn the Crocs style in the kitchen. I have. Like a cloggy looking. They weren't the Crocs brand, but I was, they were pretty comfortable, but they were just, you can get them dirty and get them wet, and they were slip resistant, but like out on the streets.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna
not
do.
Enough Black Panther stuff you can put on your face. I don't care if it's the Iron Man edition. I don't care any Disney character. I don't care if it's Rihanna looking up on my goddamn face. I ain't wearing them, bro. I'm just not doing it.
Well, hopefully the Bears win more games. We'll see. I mean, you still got a full, but that's my bet. You got to think of something that I would do that I wouldn't like. I'm sure you can find tons of that things. But
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Baseball. Pedro is our baseball analyst for reasons which is pretty obvious. He's Puerto Rican, so he knows he's gonna break everything down. It is racist. I'm sorry,
but it's funny because when I come on here, Hannah was like, "Oh, you got a jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah, I pulled it out the closet. I'm a Cubs fan." I was like, "Yeah, I know black people don't watch baseball." He was like, "Yeah, I don't know what home run, Hank Aaron. What did he say?" He said Jackie Robinson.
Daryl Strawberry, homeboy. Listen, we need as a black community. What we got here? Bobby, Kuala, there's only a few of us here right now. We need to get back into the baseball. The problem is, I think the current crop of kids have too much ADHD. The game is too slow. They have the athleticism. I think even they have the competitiveness. I think if you put a bunch of black kids on the field and taught them the game of baseball, they would care. Winning and losing, people care. It's just more people are looking at football, they're looking at baseball, but basketball, they're looking at football. But baseball is where, first of all, you could play 20, 30 years and not have your head beaten, no CTE, you know, blown knees, like all your former baseball players, they're able to do all types of things. Guaranteed contracts,
a lot of money.
It's and worldwide. I think it's because it's a very popular sport. I mean, the World Baseball Classic, that was a big deal in Japan.
Oh no, it is. It's not.
So it's global.
Every 10 years though, attendance is down overall. Also regionally, it's very hard to watch your local team sport because of the TV contracts and how they've made it difficult for you to even watch like a Cubs game, a Cardinals game. It's just they don't make it easy like football. You can watch any game for the most part, right? Basketball, pretty much.
So there's issues,
but basically you have like a game of the week, I think, on Fox or something on Saturday afternoons, and then you have ESPN has Sunday Night Baseball. That's about it, right? As far as like the mainstream stuff until you get to the playoffs. But listen, baseball is a great sport. It's definitely slower than all the others, but that's how you're supposed to enjoy baseball. Go to a game on a nice day,
Yeah.
get you a couple beers, get you a hot dog, sit down, watch a game, and you're chilling. Like it's a different kind of vibe. It just is. But
Yeah.
I grew up watching it, grew up playing it when I was little, and yeah, it's a great sport, but it's definitely not. I mean, even on TV, it's hard to watch unless it's like the drama of the last few innings. But they're trying some things with the pitch count now or the pitch clock and various things, but it's just it's a different kind of vibe. It's just different.
Yeah. Bobby says Mookie Betts is still represented. Is he the best black player right now? Like if you had all the black players,
he's one of the best, regardless of race.
But regardless, I'm saying in terms of representing, because it's not as many as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think that's where it is. I think. Well, the most popular baseball was during all those home run hits with Mark McGwire and Tommy and Sammy Sosa, and they realized, okay, everyone was juicing. But that's what's keeping everyone attention because everyone wants, what they say, ladies dig the long ball. Like they use that as a way to promote the sport. And I don't know, like now I think I'm because I do catch some sports news, driving around, listening to some local radio, that when pitching becomes more dominant, it scores are lower.
Yeah.
And people may not be feeling that because I guess you're casuals because they're like, I want to see scoring. I want to see a lot of long home runs. And when pitchers are dominating, you're like, this sucks. But if you're a baseball fan, it doesn't matter. You actually appreciate just same thing as a football fan. You appreciate a good defense, a defensive team, a good defensive game where your casual is just on board because no one's scoring. So I'm just wondering, it could maybe the ebb and flows. Maybe eventually baseball will kind of get back there. But what do you think so far this season? It just started. What's your expectations?
Low for my team. Cubs aren't going to be very good this year, but Tampa Bay Rays are off to a historic start. 10-0. Tampa Bay's 10-0. They got Randy Arozarena, I think his name is. I think he's Dominican. He's super good. He used to play on the Cardinals, and they traded him. Anyways, baseball. Listen, you got the Dodgers and you got the Mets.
How's my Yankees going to go?
Yankees are always going to make the
Yankees.
playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs, but who knows what they'll do? They got Judge and Stanton and all those guys. Listen, baseball is just one of those sports that what's great about it is there's a lot of diversity. Okay. More so than if I'm thinking about all the other major sports, it's the most diverse. Latinos got it on lock, okay? Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexicans, Dominicans. I mean, that's a lot of superstars. And you got Shohei Ohtani from Japan. I mean, he just won the WBC. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball and one of the best hitters. He's Babe Ruth. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's doing, right? And then you got the white, black, brown, Asian. Like you got it all, so the diversity is great. But I think the issue is the pace of the game and the star power just isn't there. When you're the best player in baseball for the last pretty much 10 years has been Mike Trout, and it hasn't even been close. Okay,
but he never gets in the playoffs though.
Like he's on a team if you showed him a picture, if you showed Mike Trout's face to the average American, they would not know who he is. You show Tom Brady's face to the average American or LeBron James,
right?
They know who that person is, even if they don't watch. So baseball just doesn't have the social media buzz. It doesn't have the star power that the other sports have. It also doesn't have the drama that the other sports has, and drama sells. Baseball doesn't have the drama, not since the steroid stuff. So I think
maybe the Houston Astros cheating thing, that was kind of dramatic, but I was like, that's more of a baseball thing. I found it fascinating, and they still won to win it.
And they still won. They won last year.
And the thing is, we don't. Well, I guess we don't. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but Astros could have really threw it in people's faces. But again, since you got caught cheating, they think maybe probably you did it again and didn't get caught. But they probably were just good enough to win a legit championship. Sure. But I don't know. I mean, let's see. We'll see what Hector says over here. No one, especially those Griffey sneakers. Yo, Ken Griffey Jr. Remember him? I do remember him, Pedro. Like, it's a few. I know Darryl Strawberry.
I do remember him. I know Darryl
Pete
Strawberry.
Rose. Was all the corrupty ones. Was all,
Rose, is Pete Rose black? I think he might have been black. I can't remember.
Pete Rose? Put him in the Hall of Fame. What's your, since we already talking about baseball.
Yes.
Put him in.
It's ridiculous that he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think it's ridiculous that
I
Barry
wouldn't call it
Bonds isn't
ridiculous
in.
though.
No, I think
He
it's
was
ridiculous.
cheating. He got betting
No,
games.
no, he
No?
didn't cheat. No, he didn't cheat. He didn't cheat. He bet on his team to win. The problem is with the White Sox scandal back in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Or early 1900s.
It was really early. I remember that.
It was Shoeless Joe Jackson didn't bet, and all his teammates were betting, and that just was a big scandal because it was
Yeah.
rigged. It was like rigging the game, basically, right?
Yeah.
The players were influenced by an outside source. Now, that's why. But Pete Rose was betting on his team to win. So and he was doing it not as a player, but as a manager. So you would think he put his team in the best position to win. So it's not like he was compromising the integrity of his team, but it's just one of those rules. And listen, when you have the most hits all time, you should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, maybe as a player, but I think
as a player, he should
in
be.
terms of betting, it can get real crazy really fast when you're throwing bets around. Because it's just like that old school mobster mafia shit that went down. It's like you look at boxing. Like boxing is probably still one of the most corrupt sports ever, right?
Boxing and horse racing,
right? Like as soon as you throw a bunch of bets around, and a person could take a dive and get more money if he won. You know what I mean? But I guess with Pete Rose, I would say it's been long enough.
Yeah,
put him in before he dies. But I feel like they're going to wait until he dies and then put him in. That's what I think they're going to probably do.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of other players. Clemens and Bonds and McGuire and Sosa and Alex Rodriguez.
They should go in.
All those guys were the top. Within that 10 to 15 year stretch, all those guys were top. MVPs, won World Series, home run champions. None of those guys are in. And the one thing I would say about baseball. Okay, listen, for those of you that know, I know Hector knows this name. Maybe some of you other guys do. I'm wearing a Ryan Sandberg jersey. He was the second baseman for the Cubs in the 90s, late 80s and 90s. He signed at one point, I think in 91 or 90 or 91, he signed the biggest contract in MLB history. One of the first players to get like $1 million, whatever. He was a second baseman, hit home runs. So that's the jersey I'm wearing. He's in the Hall of Fame, and he should be. Good numbers, but he's one of those guys that's kind of like on the cusp. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like his numbers are good for that.
He was like the Hall, but someone says the Hall of very good.
It's just it's too easy to get in baseball. I think, right? It's just some guys don't get in like the first time or second time. They get in like the 10th time. If it takes you 10 times, like come on, are you really a Hall of Famer? I don't know. It's just a little diluted for me.
What's the limit? Is it 15 years?
I'm not
or
sure.
Something. Hector probably knows.
It's something like that. I don't know.
Hector says Pete Rose will never get in, but I feel Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez will get in before.
I could see
that too. I think we know what's going to happen. I think a new commissioner will jump in, try to make a big splash, looks at the temperature of everything. They may put Pete Rose in again. I think after he passes. That's just my guess, but we'll see. We'll see. But going into another sport. Playoffs are happening in the NBA now.
Getting juicy, man.
Pedro, now I know you're very excited that New York is properly represented in the NBA playoffs. You got the Brooklyn Nets, you got the New York Knicks. Like New York is, shout out to New York City.
Yeah. Shout out to New York.
We play ball. We know what we're doing. It's just, we just all our teams go in.
Hey, the Bulls are in the play-in. The Bulls are in the tournament.
What do you think? Are they going to beat Toronto? Is it Toronto they got to play?
I could see it. They're not. They're the underdog, but I could see them beating Toronto. Toronto isn't a super scary team, so yeah,
we'll see. I mean, the play-in tournament, super cool. I like this idea. NBA, if even though I just feel like every team get in the playoffs, but I like the play-in tournament because I think that there's momentum there. So, like, I think because this is right now, Lakers I think they got the 8th or 7th best odds, and they're a play-in team.
They're playing the Timberwolves without Rudy Gobert. I guess he got
that's out. Yeah,
he didn't travel with the team.
He's
a guy in the chest or something.
What a disaster for the Timberwolves to trade all that for that guy.
And he paid him a lot of money.
People got to get fired for that.
For a shot blocker.
Yeah,
he's a shot blocker.
Get fired.
That's all he is. Yeah,
coach. I don't even coach, but whoever set that whole thing up needs to lose their job. That's really bad. But yeah, Lakers going to probably get in. Thunder versus the Pelicans. Who you got?
Thunder. I think the Thunder. No, yeah, Thunder. Thunder versus Pelicans. I got Lakers versus beating the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And I believe the matchup that's intriguing to me. I know you're rocking with the Suns. They got to play the Clippers. That's not an easy first round.
Yeah, I saw that. But if Paul George is still hurt, then it should not be that big of a. I mean, it'll be a little back and forth.
No,
They're not gonna get swept. No one's getting swept. It may go 6 games, but if PG-13 is hurt and just Kawhi don't he's an awesome player, but defensive he's not as dominant as he used to be.
Yeah.
And you got Russ, man. I know that's your boy.
Listen, Russ
I know
has been
Russ
playing
was
a
your boy.
lot better since he's been with the Clippers. All his numbers are up. His free throw shooting is up.
Yeah.
His shooting percentage, his 3-point, like Russ. I mean, who knows? He's such a emotional. He plays with so much fire. Like it can go either way. But I love Russell Westbrook.
I know you
give
do.
him shit. I'm a big fan of his game. I love his energy, his passion. He doesn't take plays off. He plays hard. I'm a big fan. So, I think the Suns are going to beat the Clippers, but I'm just saying, the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, you never know what could happen, man.
He can, if anyone could do it, he could. But when you got the god basketball player named Kevin Durant, what you got? Like, and it's not like he doesn't show up on playoffs when it matters the most. He will drop 40, and he'll do it as long as he doesn't fall on those toothpicks you call legs and snap something. Which is again as possible, but yeah, that's a really intriguing one. I was like, damn, that's kind of early to have such a tough, start, right?
Yeah, it is.
Miami and the Hawks. Heat versus the Hawks. Who you got?
I got the Heat.
Yeah, me too. Trae Young needs to lead that damn team, huh?
I mean,
they try to bring another dude. I forgot his name.
They brought in DeJounte Murray from the Spurs.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
But it's just they're two undersized guards, and they play kind of similar, right? Trae Young's put up some phenomenal stats.
He can play ball.
Ever since he's come into the league, he has the most assists. Back-to-back years, number one in assists. But in the first 2 years, he was like third and fourth. Like his passing is completely underrated. His shooting is really, really good. If you look at his first 4 or 5 years versus Steph Curry, his numbers are better. Mm-hmm. Now, do I think he's as good as Steph Curry and going to have that kind of career? No, but he's buried on a bad team, a franchise that doesn't really spend a lot, isn't a big market team where you're going to get free agents. So he could just be there and be like another Dame Lillard and just kind of be there forever and never win anything.
Yeah, and it don't seem like he is content compared to Damian Lillard, where he seems to be content of where he is.
Yeah,
I think Trae Young wants to win. So yeah. I got the Heat probably is going to make it. So. And you said Toronto. You think Toronto is going to get to? Yeah. So you got Toronto. So we'll see. I mean, right now I'm looking at it as some of this. Actually, why don't I just show it so you can see it too? Give me a second. Let me share my screen.
The only series I think is going to be a sweep is whoever the Bucks play. I think the Bucks will win in 4. But that's it.
Yeah. So the Bucks will play the winner. Well, I guess whatever it gets that point because the tournament didn't start yet. So you got the 76ers versus Brooklyn. I guess 76ers are gonna probably get there, but hopefully Brooklyn pushes them. They'll just show that there's some fight there. I mean, it's a lot of good scores and like really young. I like the Brooklyn Nets from all the bull crap that they had to deal with the Kyrie and the KD and Bill Simmons. I think they just told Bill Simmons to go home.
Yeah,
there's like just stop.
No, they did. They shut him down.
Yeah, it's like this is just embarrassing. Like they're gonna make it. They have to make a Netflix special from. Ben
I wonder. You know what? I would not be surprised if he doesn't play another basketball game again. I know that's a crazy take. I would not be surprised. He played this year. Didn't hear much about him. I think he averaged 6, 6, 6. He didn't average much. He didn't do much. You didn't hear him. I can't remember last time I seen him say anything publicly, an interview, nothing. So I would not be surprised if he just is like, God, I made a lot of money. I'm young. I can keep the health that I got. I know his back's bad or whatever. Why even play? Unless he's got that fire to prove people wrong. Like, why? Like, he doesn't seem like he wants to. So
basically, run out your contract. Finish the contract out. I don't think he's American. I don't think he's Australian or something. Something I can't remember. Why am I spacing out? Ben Simmons is definitely not from here.
He's Canadian.
Or he's Canadian. So
he's Canadian. No.
And you already said that.
Australia, right? No, hold up. He's from Australia.
He's Australian.
He's Australian, not
Canadian. Melbourne, Australia. 26 years old. 26 years old, and he just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to play anymore. Now, some people have not everyone loves what they do. We assume every NBA player, every athlete, regardless of, it doesn't even matter what sport, that they absolutely love what they're doing. they may not love what they're doing. It could be just a job to them. And I think as fans of the sports, we don't understand that because we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
But many people are, they maybe he had the passion before, but he may not have it anymore.
If I'm him, man, his size, his athletic ability, his ball handling, his defense. If I'm him, and I'm not saying he hasn't done this, but I'm gonna completely go off the grid. I just got my team told me to chill, right? So I'm starting right now, and I got the next 4 months, right before training camp. I'm just gonna get a jump shot. I'm gonna do what I can do, and I'm gonna come back, and I want to prove people wrong. That's what if I'm him, that's what I do. I've got my money, so fuck everything else. Like, let me just go out there. Let me get a jump shot. Let me get my confidence back. Right. I'm not going to date no chicks. I ain't doing nothing. No distractions. I'll save that later for later in my life. Let me go out here and just ball and just really show like that I can still play. The guy's he's made the All-Star team a couple of times, like he's a good player and he just doesn't have the confidence. So if I'm him, I just try to get it back. I either do that, I go all out, or I say, you know what, forget it. I'm young, I'm rich, I'm good looking. I can have any girl I want for the most part. All the IG models. Let me just go on an island, go back to Australia, wherever, and I'll just live my life that way. He's got to pick one or the other. He can't continue to just show up and kind of play and doesn't look like he cares. Like, you got to pick one. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do one or the
other. Excuse me. That or some kind of something that there's a block. There's a sense of he didn't have this before, and then he was broken in Philly, and it hasn't built up. Like, he hasn't been able to build himself back up. And usually that was psychiatrists kind of jump in there. There's tons of sports psychiatrists that can deal with that, but we'll see. I mean, right now, hey, listen, they have a decent future ahead of them. Mikal Bridges, I think 5 years in a row, played all 82 games. Yeah, and it's sad that that's a thing. Like, that's a thing worth mentioning. Yeah. Because no one ever plays 82 games anymore. And there's one guy did it for 5 years, where it used to be almost everybody did it, or at least all the stars that we knew.
Impressive, just on the physical ability alone. Not to tweak an ankle, or you know what I'm saying, like, because he's banged up.
He's a skinny dude. Like, he's a skinny kind of dude. He's not like Karl Malone or anything, and then he's able to play and able to do it. Yeah. So give him love. Hector thinks the bench should go to China. Maybe. I mean, at this point. I mean, what? Look at Dwight Howard. He's Dwight. Is he still out there in Taiwan killing it?
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, no hate. Wherever you want to go, but this ain't working, and you can't be in Brooklyn playing like that. They gotta, figure something out. I don't know. To me, I still got the Suns. I don't see any other team that will threaten the Suns, unless and I think Hector said this as well. If Chris Paul stays healthy. KD stays healthy, who's stopping him?
I mean, you're talking. Chris Paul usually gets banged up or hurt at some point in the playoffs, or he underperforms. And KD, who knows? I mean, he slipped on the court, and just doing a layup. I mean, they're going to be tough because it's Kevin Durant. Anytime you got a healthy Kevin Durant on any team, you can put Kevin Durant on any team that's in the playoffs right now, and they immediately become an elevated contender. Any team.
Yeah.
Right? You could put him on, so yeah, it's Kevin Durant. I mean, he's one of the top players in the league. He's proven, been there. So it's going to be interesting. I think I was talking to my nephew yesterday. For me, there's like 6 teams that could win, and I wouldn't be surprised, And I think that's good because the last few years, it's always been like Cavaliers and the Warriors and this team, like it's been those 2 teams were kind of the favorite. They played each other like 5 years in a row. And then you had the Raptors here and there. And then we've had the Bucks been kind of good, and the Celtics have been good a little bit, but it's been the same handful of teams, right? So I think it's good that we have a little more parity in basketball right now.
Yeah, no one is really talking about the Golden State Warriors, but I'm looking at the Kings versus the Warriors. Do you think the Kings are going to bump them off?
No, Warriors are going to win that series in 5 or 6, easy. Yeah.
Okay,
easy.
It's 3-6 seed. It's a 6 seed too, so it is interesting. But 6 seed by 4 games. So
the really good basketball team, super impressive, but. You're not stopping Steph and Clay and Draymond and Steve Kerr. Those guys have been there. They're not losing to the Kings, guys. It's not going to happen. put some money on it, please. Somebody put $1 on it.
I gotta look at the odds. I'm wondering how big. Probably not big of that. Oh yeah, and also Hector, he jumping in with a lot of great comments. Wiggins, Wiggins come back and tell us the truth. Guy's father's sick. Yeah, so you didn't tell us this. You didn't tell anyone for weeks, and it's your father. Like, all right, man.
Yeah,
just not. You know what? You don't have to tell us anything.
Yeah,
it's personal business, but it don't sound like it made sense.
Yeah, but he might come back and just start. I mean, he's rested. Yeah. Maybe he might be angry for whatever's going on in his life. He might come back with a vengeance. I mean, plus Steph Curry. We forget what he did last year? He's healthy right now, guys. Steph Curry was unstoppable in the playoffs. I think he had one bad game, and the next game he came out and dropped like 40 or something.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Steph Curry what he does is unguardable. And he's not a big dude. So we talk about KD, he shoots over the top of everybody. You can't guard him. It's the same with Steph. It's just from a different angle, right? Mm-hmm. So it's you can't count the Warriors out. You
can't count them. And hopefully, if Wiggins can come back, that's a big. I mean, he also was extremely valuable of how they won that championship because Wiggins was able to guard their best player,
Brown,
and hold them down. So we'll see, and it's going to be quite a very interesting and fun playoffs. This is usually the best time of the year. The weather is nice. Get to go to the bar. Or maybe, go get something to eat and watch some games. But also, you got to be careful when you go out there to eat because there's some crazy shit happening. So, Pedro did not see this video of a tow truck driver.
Always has surprises for me.
This has been, I found this on Twitter and I lost it just was so outrageous. You think there's something missing out of this. Like, what is happening in this situation? But I'm going to show you the whole video. It's about a minute and change. So I'm going to give you the backstory. It was a chicken and waffles in Maryland. A tow truck driver orders food. He gets served, but he comes, I think either he's come back or he basically already consumes the food and then asks for wings. The people at the store, the manager of the store says, hey, we're closing, we can't make it. And then basically, this is the situation that happens. So let me show it right now and you guys can check it out.
Damn! My boy 30 years. Hey, bitch ass nigga. Where that money at your head? Oh, yeah. Hey, what the man? Shit got real. Oh, my stars. He didn't know. Oh, he did not do that. Oh, that's.
So, yeah, that happened.
Oh, what? Well, hold on. Where's this at?
Maryland.
Listen, I'm going to say this person and I want to hear your take. Sure. Why is it? What I feel like we see these videos, these viral videos, right? Mm-hmm. These incidents, and it's like people go crazy over food.
Yes.
And I never understood it. And I worked in a restaurant for 18 years, guys. I've seen a lot of crazy things. I've had to calm people down. I've been called all kinds of names. I've had to diffuse situations, and people lose their mind over food. And I don't understand the correlation. So when I see something like that, for me, it's a little sad, if I'm being honest. And it's also funny, but like, clearly there's a lot there's something else happened. So what, did he go back in and he wanted like a refund or he wanted more wings because he felt like he didn't get enough?
I think it was something, and the guy was like, either a refund or something that was probably a little bit. I mean, first of all, there's nothing that really deserves that. Like, what? Even if the person behind the counter called you a bitch or something, You just gonna lose your mind, crash your tow truck into the building, start fighting it. Like, so regardless of what happened, Koala said he must have been on something.
Well, you know what I thought that? Like, is this guy high? Like
What kind of high is that?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I've been high. I know it's a big surprise.
I think Hannibal's high right now.
I wish. I've never been high enough, and I want to start fighting people. When I get high, I get sleepy, I get chill, I'm relaxed. So I'm just wondering, and it's another chicken and waffle kind of area. What is it about chicken and waffle places where people are fighting and losing their minds and having Mortal Kombat out there?
Well, first off, that shit's good. Let's get that out the way. Chicken and waffles. I'm sorry, we got some chicken and waffle joints in St. Louis. That shit is fire. Okay,
you don't drive your car into the building though.
No. But you know what's funny? And I couldn't tell from the video. Okay, the guy that was the customer looked, he was a black guy. I'm assuming he looked black.
Yeah.
Okay. The workers, and at least I'm going to speak for St. Louis, and you guys let me know in the chat how it is in your city. A lot of the places that will serve chicken and waffles, or like the fish and the chicken and these local joints, right? A lot of them are operated and owned by people from the Middle East. So that gentleman looked like somebody that was probably from the Middle East. Am I right?
He got tired of that shit. Yeah, he was like,
And there is in St. Louis. I'm speaking for my town. You guys tell me what you see. There is a disconnect between the African American community and the Middle Eastern community. There is. I've seen it. I've seen arguments.
That's a good point. Actually,
there's a little bit of like the Middle East is like they're a little prejudiced at times, right? And I see there's this dynamic that is a little. It can be off. I've seen it like face to face when I go in my city. So I wonder if there's something's bubbling within that community between those two communities. Maybe this wasn't the first time the guy been there. Who knows? But you know, I see that friction from those communities. I do.
That's
Maybe
a
I'm
very
off,
good. No.
I've noticed
very
it
good
in St.
point. Because I was thinking more of like the mental health of our society is breaking down.
Well, that too.
And you guys need to have guns, guys. I'm sorry. I was going to say it to protect yourself because I don't know what's going on. But that is a good point, cultural point. I've seen it in certain communities as well. I think there's all right. So we can look at it. I'm always thinking about it in terms of a nuance, kind of like a balanced situation.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in situations where the customers are extremely rude. And I never understood being rude to someone that is serving you your food. Never understood that. The person could put anything in his food and you're going to give them shit and call them names. They can put their dick in there. They can why would you should be nice to the person that's serving you food, right? Like our families and our friends that make us food, we trust them. Mm-hmm. They put their effort into food. You would not eat with the enemy, right? Like someone who couldn't stand, you don't know what they're gonna do with it. Mm-hmm. So you coming in with an attitude, complaining about the price, calling them names.
Yeah.
They made a mistake, you lose your mind. It's just, I'd never understood that. And I guess on the other side, the cultural thing, manners sometimes just doesn't connect well. Like what we consider manners here, they don't have that there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very matter of fact.
Yes.
And in America, we do have manners. I know a lot of people think that Americans are, rude. Yeah, there's some elements, but we say please, we say thank you. Customer service is extremely important. So if something goes wrong, we gotta try to fix it.
Yeah.
And cultures are like, no, this is it. Take it. And I think so. I agree with you. With there's definitely some tension, and also a lot of Black people believe that many of these businesses, they come into the community, they don't contribute to the community, they don't hire people from the community. So I do believe that there is some evidence of that, and I
believe so.
Totally unrelated story, but a couple days ago, this weekend, New York City was really bad in Easter weekend. 5 people got shot. This is a precursor for what's going to happen in the summertime. So a dude, all on camera, because at this point every business have camera, had an argument with another dude in the smoke shop, took out his gun, shot the dude in the head, all in front of the camera. So they're going to catch him eventually. What community organizer is being interviewed by the news the day or two later, and said this smoke shop should close down. And you think like, why would like, all right, that's an interesting take. Well, because the smoke shop care more about dollars and cents than the community.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head is like a guy who owns a smoke shop, what he's supposed to do? He's running a business. Now there's people argument, unless the owner was the one shooting the guy in the head, why would they need to close? Because it's violence in the community that they're operating in. But that's the kind of thing that I think a lot of people have, and I think it's a wrong idea to blame businesses for the issues that are happening in the community, unless they're discriminating.
Well, and that's the thing. In some areas, there might be that, or they're just not. Some businesses, and it's all dependent. It's a case by case basis, right? But there's businesses that don't care enough about the community. They just want the dollars, and they don't do enough to figure out the community, what's important to them, who are the leaders in that community. If I'm opening up a smoke shop, I'm going to make who are the leaders in my community, whether it's on the political side, the local, maybe a local church or another local business owner or somebody that's been living there a long time. And, I try to figure out how do I employ one person from the community to help me clean my shop or work behind a counter a couple of days a week. That way there's a familiar face and there's a little bit of like relationship building there. I think good business owners do something to that degree. In a lot of these places where there is a smoke shop, a chicken and waffle joint, it's not in a great part of town. A lot of the neighborhoods can be impoverished, or there's a lot of walking foot traffic in these stores, people hanging out in the front of the store, a lot of this, a lot of that, right?
Definitely.
There's a lot of elements happening, right? And these business owners, it's a tough spot to be in. But, if I'm there, I'm trying to figure out, okay, who's in the front of my store? Why are they there? Are they there for trouble? Or are they there just to be there? Because they're probably my customers. Okay, do I build a relationship with these people? Hey, you guys want to, you guys going to hang out? Hey, help me clean up my parking lot, or, watch my building for me. I'll crack a deal with you or whatever. Right. Those are the kind of businesses that thrive in St. Louis, at least. Cause I've been into some of these places. You feel a little unsafe, but then it's like, oh, everybody in here is cool. There's, everybody's in a good mood. The guy behind the thing, even though he's behind all kinds of glass and you can't even,
you got that bulletproof, everything.
You got the bulletproof. Like, hey, he's a cool guy. You can tell that he understands the neighborhood. So, it's just unfortunate. And listen, like I said in the beginning, why do people get so fucking bent out of shape over food? I don't understand it. Like it's such a weird thing to me. And I like to eat. So does Hannibal. Like, me and Hannibal have had many meals. I've seen the guy eat a burrito in like 5 seconds. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm very fat.
But like, how do people get bent out of shape over food? And clearly, like you said, mental health is not about the food, but that's what's starting it, because these guys are getting triggered.
It's like
it's still
traumas
food,
and the shit is happening in their life. That a bad day, too many bad days in a row, and now I can't get my wings. I'm gonna lose my mind. Jody said, Dick sandwich. Jody, behave. Behave, Jody. How dare you?
I was waiting to see if somebody caught you when you said that. Hannibal's putting his dick in the mashed potatoes, guys. There you go.
I'm always nice. I get a little uncomfortable sometimes when I ask someone to, like, if I got some food and I want to take it back, I may not ask to take it back. I may eat it because I don't want someone to be mad again, mental health. Be in the kitchen. Someone said, yeah, this guy said this food wasn't cooked right, or you need to cook it more. He's like, oh yeah, I'll cook it right, and then I get a dig sandwich now.
The only way that's gonna happen, I've never, not one time, seen anybody mess with food, and I've worked at a lot of places.
That's good.
Once.
That's good.
Now I have seen if you're a rude customer and you're being unreasonable, they'll bring that plate in the back and they'll talk shit behind your back, but they're not messing with the food. Now that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because clearly it does, but it's not as common as people think. There's cameras in the kitchen as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just not something that is normal. I think we've seen people watch that movie Waiting, where the guy puts his pubes in the steak or whatever.
I've seen so many videos. I've seen some viral stuff. I've seen some stuff. I've seen Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescues. I've seen a lot of those episodes. I just don't want no one to put their pubes in my food. So even if I eat it, I'm like, I don't like this food, and it doesn't taste. I'm like, you know what? Thank you very much. I just won't come back.
Yeah, I hear you.
But then you're always with, and I'm not gonna blame women on this one. But well, they're like, I don't want this. I'm telling them to take it back. I'm like, just eat the food, because you're gonna come back with something else, some more cream sauce gonna be there. You don't know. Nah, I'm just,
I'm
being
like you though.
paranoid.
I don't send stuff back usually. If I don't like it, it's probably or if I'll still eat it. But I've never had. I think I've had hair in my food once, and like I was like, hey, there's some hair in here, and I lost my appetite, so I just didn't want anything else. It's not a big deal, but like if I just don't like it, or like if I order a steak medium rare or medium, and it's like a little overdone, I'm still gonna eat it. I'm not gonna like, can you cook this up for me? I'm just not that guy because I used to. I'm like, it's still good. It's edible.
They're busy.
They're busy. Like,
I could take a bad meal. It's not. I had too many meals as it is probably. What's up, Garden State? I don't think I've seen you in a minute. Appreciate you coming through. Agree, Pedro. A lot of Latino bodegas owned by Puerto Ricans and now Dominicans today in New York City and Jersey do a great job of getting involved with the community. In my experience, I've had most of them has been positive. They're mad chill. They're mad cool. Usually they, even the spots that's owned by some of the Arabs, they chill. We call them Ak. They, some will be trying to talk to the girls in there. You could tell every 5. They don't give you too many words, but when a girl come in there, how you doing? I'm like, can you stop so I can get my shit and get the fuck out of here? But
let me ask you this. And I want to know the chat too. You know that guy, the Aquay, the viral guy on TikTok and YouTube. He has a channel, and
he does like little goofy pranks.
No. He's in NY, I believe, and people bring him food. Like, can you make it to Aquay? And like they hand him like a bag of like donuts, some hot Cheetos, and he'll make like a sandwich out of that. He's super popular.
Oh, I gotta check that out. Yeah,
check it out. It's called the Aquay. He's got merchandise and like he's really funny, really awesome, charismatic, and he makes these crazy creations. And the sandwiches look great. And he cuts them up at the end and opens it up, and it's like this like crazy looking.
Everything looks like a top cheese, like a bacon and cheese type of thing.
Exactly. Okay. But it's got like different types of ingredients in it. Check him out. It's a really cool.
I love a good sandwich. I like things all over the place. I mean, he's in Red Hook. Oh,
see, Hector knows. Hector knows. Yep, Hector knows. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check him out. Yeah, I mean, the staple of every New York City like breakfast is the bacon, egg, and cheese. To a point, it's just that's one word. You just say it, can I have a bacon, egg, and cheese, and they know exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
I personally like hot sauce and ketchup in mine.
Both.
Now, it sends me to the bathroom. I think I'm lactose intolerant. I think I'm probably I already talked this with Kuala in Cali, but I will still eat it because it, you get that with coffee. It's not healthy.
No, it's good.
You're not taking care of your body. Yeah. But man, it hits. It's fantastic.
It's a perfect hangover food too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You do that, and that hot sauce helps with it. You drink a water, you got a little coffee, and you're ready to go. Yeah.
Listen, I'm trash. I'll order with a hero. Can you get a bacon and cheese on a hero, please?
On a hero, bro?
On a hero.
I thought a bacon, egg, and cheese came on like a bagel.
You could put it on a roll bagel, but I will get it on. I would get on a hero.
Damn, bro. Listen,
just I could get it right now. When are they open right now? Yeah, I need to work out, man. It's over. Garden State, he said, I found a fly in my beans once. How do you know it was a fly?
I mean, but that that kind of stuff is like, there are a lot of kitchens. Let me tell y'all something right now. Okay. There are kitchens, especially your local joints. That back window's open in the summertime. Oh, yeah. The window, the door's open, flies are in the alley.
It's okay. I probably ate some flies.
Oh yeah.
It's just protein. The restaurant was so delicious, though I felt sad to bring it up to the waiter, but they appreciate the honesty and appropriate critic. So like if I was in a restaurant, I saw something like like a hair or a bug, I wouldn't scream and like I wouldn't do that to them. I wouldn't. I would just bring the person over. Hey, excuse me, there's some pubes in my food. I expect not to pay for this, right? Okay.
You were nonchalant about it?
Yeah, I wouldn't do the scream. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I would not do that. That's kind of messed up. I'm not savage.
Yeah, I've definitely had to walk up to tables as a manager and there's hair. And sometimes I know it's not the kitchen's hair because I've got 3 bald guys back there. And the food runner has no hair, or there are, and like I go to the table and it's a guy like me, got fucking hair here, hair in his face. Oh, look at, there's some hair, and it's like black hair. But you don't ever like say, you know what, sir, that's yours. You just say, oh, I'm so sorry. What else can I get you? If you don't want something, clearly that's not me tonight. Like that's all you do because you don't want to make a confrontation. You don't want to cause a scene, right?
Right.
But I've definitely had people that are like, the one that I always had that was always funny to me, and I get it, but people don't understand how food's actually cooked. You get a steak. I don't want no blood in it. No blood. And like people get like a medium steak, and like you cut it, and a medium's going to have a little pink in there. But the juices that run out of that steak, it's not blood, but people think it's blood and they get grossed out. And I've had it. People are like, I want a well done steak, but I want it juicy. That does not exist. Okay?
It's impossible.
You can't get. It's impossible. You want medium well? It's probably the best I can do. So most of my like table confrontations with customers and like they just don't understand the steak thing's always kind of a weird thing. It's kind of fun sometimes, but the hair thing is always.
And they don't understand in terms of cooking the meat. Like, yeah, a little blood is, first of all, a little blood ain't a big deal. And also medium, I think medium is probably the best way. So you're not you're not doing too crazy with, rare, which is like, I don't know, the person's some kind of a lion that's eating this.
I'll do medium rare. If it's a good cut of meat, I do medium rare, a little salt, a little pepper on there, or whatever the house seasoning is. To me, that is the perfect, if it's a really good cut of meat. If it's a fair cut of meat, I do medium. Yeah.
But well done is just not good. But also,
just order a burger.
It gets to a point where some people criticize people for ordering well done. Listen, if you're gonna eat it. Whatever you want to do. Because sometimes I think there's some kind of like criticism for people who want it well done. We look at them as less than. We think like you're weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like negative. Like, hey, listen, if you love a shoe, eat the shoe.
Yeah.
No problem eating the shoe. Like, hey, I win, but as long as you got a shoe, you eat it. You're not wasting the food. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hector says something gross. When you add mayo, no mayonnaise.
Well, we've talked about this.
Yeah,
I like mayonnaise. Hannibal doesn't.
No,
it's a thing. I know. We talked about the ketchup on hot dogs. if you put ketchup on hot dogs, you're a little crazy. But I'm from Chicago, so only mustard goes on hot dogs. We've definitely dabbled. This is where me and Hannibal's friendship has been tested in the past.
It's been tested because mayonnaise is gross.
Let me ask you a really direct question: is mayonnaise a condiment for the white folks?
It seems like
Is
they
that
like it.
Is that how you look at it?
It seems like they like it a lot. They're big fans. But also I'm being ridiculous. I'm being a little silly.
Shout out to the white people in the chat. Thank you.
When I get a sandwich at the local bodega and I'll say no mayonnaise,
Dude,
they will put mayonnaise in it.
You gotta put mayonnaise on a sandwich.
I get really upset when I get it. But again, I don't take it back. I don't fight. I don't take my car and run into the bodega into it. But they put mayonnaise because it's such a routine. I'm sure it's muscle memory. So they're probably forgetting that I said it. It's not doing it on purpose. But I don't want mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Yeah.
No mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Listen,
No.
if I do the mayo, and sometimes depending on the meat, I'll add mustard. I do mayo and ketchup as the dipping sauce sometimes, but never as both condiments on a sandwich.
Yeah.
But the mayo ketchup or mayo hot sauce, if you get a good hot sauce, that as a combination is really good.
Yeah, you guys are weird. Nova says I can't be trusted, and I'm being picky. I'm being picky because I don't want mayonnaise on that white goopiness on all of my stuff.
Next time I'm with Hannibal and we go out to eat, I'm going to somehow at some point get some kind of sandwich or something, and I'm going to hand it to him. He's going to be drunk, and he's going to.
I better be and
he's going to eat that damn sandwich.
If I'm done, if I'm lit, then yeah. But if I'm not, it may come back. That's all I'm saying.
I might get a sandwich thrown at me.
Not even that. It just yeah. I don't know. I like mayonnaise on my tuna fish. That's about it.
Well, you gotta have it. Yeah, that's a must.
Remember before we leave, there's a gig related story, guys. I know it's gonna blow your minds because in this channel,
we got gig people in here. Let's talk about it.
I think everyone is here as gig people.
I think so. You're right.
We tend not to talk about gig stuff because we talk about gig stuff on obviously Pedro's channel, my channel, and but I know you guys are all gig workers, and so you guys will appreciate this story. I still check. I do all types of time in terms of looking through Facebook, Reddit, TikTok to see what the people are saying. Because I'm a man of the people. Not really. I think Pedro is more of a man of the people than I am.
That's not good if I'm the one that's Go ahead.
Okay. So I found this on Facebook. It's an Uber Eats, I believe. The Uber Eats driver got tip baited a while ago. He got mashed up with the same person. So he decides to do something. He decides to go petty. So I'm gonna show you the message.
Pettiness. All right.
I guess he types in, Crazy how the world works. After you tip baited me the last time you noticed, it's me dropping you off your food again. So let me know. Is it really worth dropping off your food? Because I could take it back right now. He put this on Facebook, and I would say most people were, well, you know what? Before I say exactly how they felt, but he puts a whole edit. He says he won't respond after reading it. So I called Uber, canceled the order, and ate the food.
What
serves
the
them right?
what?
Then he does an edit. So I'm guessing people have said some things. He had to put more information to the Facebook post. This is a Uber Eats, either a New York Facebook group or one of the Facebook group for Uber Eats. This is for you guys that can't seem to understand what's going on here. The guy tip baited me about a month ago for $8. I was furious. So for the first time ever, I called support to complain about the tip taken away. I kept getting transferred until I demanded to speak to a manager. The manager got on the phone, was very nice to me, and gave me $15 for the headache. Customer's name and conversation was recorded. About a month later, I am here delivering to the same guy. I didn't recognize the name, but after the start of delivery, I noticed it, where it was going, and it dawned on me it was the tip baiting customer. I called support and told him I didn't feel comfortable delivering this order due to a previous incident. Obviously, previous conversation was recorded, and so it wasn't a surprise to him. I suggested to return the food. Support said I disposed of it, and I did exactly that. So, Pedro, thoughts?
First thing that hits me, I haven't had that happen. I've been tip baited once on Uber Eats, and I did call support, and they gave me I want to say they gave me $11. Yeah, because that's what the amount was. And so all the Uber Eats drivers out there, don't go petty. Even if you want to, get with support, let them know what's going on. If you get to the right person, they might give you that money back. That happened to me. But you know what's interesting? He says he didn't recognize the name, but he recognized the address.
Well, I guess until he looked. I guess he accepted the name or accepted saw the name. Yeah. Then he kept going and then realized he recognized where it was going. Then he put two and two together, even though who the hell remembers?
Well, the thing is,
he delivered a month ago.
Well, but people move. So if it's not the same name but the same address, it could be a different person. It could be a completely different family. People move, right? So, especially if it's an apartment or something, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm just not giving that much energy. I probably just you can unassign it and drop the order. Because as soon as you accept an order on the platforms, you see the name, you kind of see the address. Well, on Uber Eats, you can't see the address until.
And that's probably why he.
Yeah, that's probably what. So he probably
the dude that got me last month.
Yeah, he probably confirmed the pickup and all that crap. But yeah, I'm just not, I'm just not doing all that. Or maybe because I can get petty. If I'm feeling super petty, I don't say nothing. I drop it off, and if it's a hand to me, I just maybe hand it to him and I give him a little wink, like, "Hey, I think I was here last month. Thanks for the tip." And I just give him a wink and just make him feel like shit about himself, and then just go on with my day. But even then, it's like, why even bother, Yep. But that's like, to me, that think about all the time and energy he spent on that. He could have been out there just making money on the next order. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
It's like pent up rage or not rage. Well, it's not feel like rage, pent up frustration. So, and good advice, right? Call support when you got tip baited.
Call support, yeah.
And he got his money,
yeah,
and was still mad, and still was like, this guy needed more something from me, revenge for what happened. And I'm sitting there just reading it. I'm like, is this the same as a tow truck driver not getting his wings and crashing?
Not even close. But it's similar in the vein of taking shit too far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like, what I'll say right now, that customer, you inconvenienced that customer for about 45 minutes because he didn't get his food. Someone else got the food.
Yeah.
So that person was dealing with no food. You didn't change anything. You ate the person's food, so you didn't feel comfortable. That person, now who didn't feel comfortable? I guess the driver didn't feel comfortable because he didn't want to deliver it anyway. He wanted that person to say something to him. He didn't respond because, like you said, that may have been the same person. It could have been, but it's also like, what are you saying? First of all, if a driver sent me that message, why I want the food? That's weird.
Well, like you're saying, like, hold up, this guy remembers all this. Okay, yeah. And I will say this: I've never done it, but if I'm a customer that if I took a tip away, I'm probably remembering. Maybe I've done it before, or I did it for a good reason. So as a consumer, I might remember that. And
So
then
that's a
I'm
good
thinking,
point.
oh, the same guy's going to bring me my food. I probably don't want to eat that.
So it's
Right?
like, yeah,
So
I
why
wouldn't want the
even?
food
So then
either.
it's like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and keep it. I'll place an order in a little while, and somebody else will bring me that
In
food. No big
45
deal.
minutes.
In
It
45
usually
minutes.
it's going to be another 45 minutes. So
Yeah.
we don't know why the person took away the tip. I remember dropping a post on my channel a couple of weeks ago, like, what would justify you taking away a tip?
Mm-hmm.
And some people had, it has to be something outrageous, obviously, but we don't know everything. And for the person to they got their money, right, for the first time, still angry enough to try to hold the food hostage to prove a point. I just feel like a lot of these drivers should not be out here doing this.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just a little bit too aggressive. It just like that's not that. I don't think that's helpful in any way. I just don't see it.
Well, I saw the video. I saw the last couple of shorts you've put out about the tip culture in America, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
got me, it's definitely got me thinking about a world, no, not a world, an America that doesn't do and have the tip culture the way we do. Because I do believe it is getting out of hand. Now, with food delivery, I think drivers should get tips. I think we should respect the person bringing you your food. I mean, listen, but I do believe in other sectors and other ways the tipping is getting a little crazy, and the companies are knowing that they can keep their labor costs down and pass off more of the more of the employees' wages onto the consumer, which it's been going like that for a while, but it's definitely getting a little crazy. And I think that there's definitely some entitlement fizzing in with some of the delivery drivers and things like that.
And they're desperate.
And they're
They,
desperate.
2-3 years ago, this was not a problem. But the money that people have, they don't have that money 3 years now. The money is gone. Those stimmy checks are gone. People bought cars that are way overvalued 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They got to pay those. They got to pay those money. The interest rates are too high. We don't have money to throw around anymore. They're not getting 20%. And personally, for me, and we go by the food delivery or restaurant, sit in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me that every employee was getting paid an hourly wage, but I have to pay extra for the food, I'll pay extra for the food. Because some people say, well, the reason why, all right, you don't want tip, but the food's gonna be more expensive, and you're not gonna like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have no problem with that. If even if the food was expensive, but everyone got paid, regardless of anyone worry about tip or not, I would still order the food.
But the amount that you're spending is going to be the same, or sometimes more, sometimes less. But on average, you're still going to spend that $100, let's just say. And
Yeah, so it's
already
the tip is going to be built in anyway. So
that's
good.
what I'm saying. So it's not like if you're somebody that's gonna tip when you go out to eat, and if you go to a restaurant and they say, you know what, our staff is paid fairly, a fair wage. Tipping is not an option here. It's not a requirement. It's not an option. It's not even when you use credit card. There's no tip line. Yeah, I'll still stay there and eat.
I'll still,
and
no
because I
problem.
feel like then I know I'm an informed consumer, knowing that the waiter or waitress is getting taken care of.
Yeah.
But when I go out to eat, I know that these waiters in St. Louis are making $3, $4, $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna take care of me. You give me good service. I gotta take care of you, because I understand that you're not getting paid by your employer, and it is what it is, right? But if I was informed, if I was like, oh, this waiter or waitress is making $20 an hour, let's just throw that out there, right? And but even then, for some waiters and waitresses, that would be a pay cut. Because some places these guys are making really good, bartenders in a busy bar. Some of these guys are making $400 or $500 a night on an 8-hour shift. So if you can't say if you pay them $20 an hour, they're taking a drastic pay cut, right?
And that's how a lot of people are a little iffy about regulations, because the people who are doing the best are now going to come down to everyone else.
Yes.
And there's a restaurant in Brooklyn that I like to go to. And I'm a big ramen guy. I love ramen. And this part, I think it's called Ichiran. They say don't tip. They say everyone's getting paid fairly. I think Japan, like I said, different cultures.
Different.
So I go there and there's not even an option to tip. I think I'd be looking around. I'm like, I guess not. But they're getting paid well enough.
Yeah.
But that's a very unique situation in Brooklyn because again, it's still America. But they're saying, you do not need to tip these people. We got it. And the prices are not that expensive. And the food, I love the food. So nothing's ever going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
But for this driver, I would agree with what you said earlier. Your energy is it's just a finite amount every day.
It is.
And to me, and I'm so old now, like at 3:00, my energy is already like I already did most of my work. Like I've already shot a lot of my load already. I don't have time
at 3 p.m., bro. Damn shit.
I'm up at 6:45 every morning. I am tired. That's why I need to take my little nap.
Yeah.
Or if I
Hannibal loves his naps, man. 3 p.m. That's probably when I am at my most energetic and my most busy. And most of the days is when I got a lot going on at about that time. So for me, my load has not been shot at 3 p.m. at all.
Well, let me know what you take. Maybe eat more vegetables than I do, or probably I am not eating healthy. That's nothing.
No, listen, what it is, I have a 21-month-old that keeps me like running around.
Oh, you have no
day,
choice.
So I got no choice.
Yeah. Well, that's your decision. You gotta deal with your decisions.
Thanks, Hannibal.
I did mine. I did my toddler stage. That was. It'll keep you up, or a toy will fall on your face, or something's going, or you'll hear something releasing it out in their diaper. You gotta clean up. So they'll keep you on you. But once they're able to watch TV and use the bathroom on their own and go in the fridge, fantastic.
Well, it's getting a little easier now. I can put her in front of her TV. She got a little tablet. She's so spoiled, man. Or I could just but she still requires a lot of attention. But listen, shout out to her mom because she does most of that stuff. And I do other stuff. So I got it. I actually have it really easy, relatively speaking. I live a very blessed life. I'll say that.
That's what's up, man. So, but we didn't get to talk about too much music. We know what? Let's do real quick. Do you think Pusha T is a top 50 rapper? Because we did discuss the top 50 Billboard rappers of all time. I think number one was Jay-Z. And I think Pusha T got in the fifth. I think I'll look up exactly what it was.
You're saying he's in the top 50.
He was in the top 50. And we talked about it a little bit.
That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like him being there is justified. I'm not upset about it. I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
If you told me he was in the top 20, I'm going to have some issue with that, right? But if he's in the 40s or something or 50, I really don't have much of an issue for that. I think he's got a big enough catalog and,
Jim Jones representing Dipset. I don't know if he still represents Dipset, but he was on a podcast saying Pusha T should not be on any top 50 rapper list. He says Young Boy never broke again before Pusha T. We're just gonna forget what he said the second thing he just said because I listened to NBA. He's not top 50 rapper.
I don't understand. I think I heard a song of his on a radio the other day and I realized it was him because my screen said NBA, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this sucks.
He's a popular rapper. He's not top anything.
No.
He's not top anything. So I don't know what Jim Jones. I don't know if Jim Jones has a personal problem with Pusha T, but Pusha T was 29. It's a bit high. I would
29 is a little high. 29's high. That's too high.
So this is the quote from this is a Rap Caviar podcast that Jim Jones was on. Quote, what has he done to put him in the greatest rappers of all time besides talking about coke that he probably didn't get himself?
Hater. He's hating a little bit there, man.
He gives him props as a lyricist, but he says the music doesn't get any play in the streets or in the clubs. I disagree. I hear his songs in the streets and clubs, so I don't know where he's at.
And he gives him props as a lyricist. Isn't that what rap? I mean, that's a big part of rap, right? So, I mean.
He dressed nice and shit. He can rap his ass off, but what has he done? No one dresses like him. No one wants to be Pusha T. I don't remember anything. I don't remember we talk about. He starts cursing a bunch but he says Pusha T holds no weight out here. He's pushing no shit out here. You go into clubs. I don't know no records that they play in a club with Pusha T. They don't get they don't play his shit outside. Young NBA young boy over Pusha T. Is this personal
sounds like it? Sounds like it. Come on, no hip hop historian anybody with any kind of knowledge of hip hop is saying NBA YoungBoy deserves a spot on a top list over Pusha T. Come on.
He has
Now,
radios, he has radio hits.
Do I think he's more relevant? Do I think NBA YoungBoy is more relevant now with the younger? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about relevancy or popularity. We're talking about skill and where do you stand in the hip hop archives of the top 50. And come on, man, like that's
it's embarrassing. I don't know, Jim Jones. I think
I've never been a big fan of, and he's got that song "Ballin'," right? Ballin'.
That's about it. Yeah.
That's a nice cut. That's a nice cut. But Jim Jones is always a weirdo to me.
No, it was a long history. He got help from Cameron. And actually, this is a good question before we leave. Who do you think is better, Cameron or Pusha T?
Cameron, not even close.
I don't think Cameron's even on the list.
I know. I like Cameron.
He's on the list.
I like Cameron. I liked his style. His flow is different. I like, and then even when he came back and had a resurgence when he was wearing all the pink and doing all the things like after his first couple albums, I like Cameron. So I would put Cameron.
I think maybe that's why Jim Jones kind of came on with the defense. He may not have said explicitly because I think they don't get along. Jim Jones and Cameron don't get along. That how Pusha T is up there, where Cameron, yes, people wore pink, at least in New York City. I don't know if it was.
That was a big
they follow a lot of Cameron style. Yeah. So it was like no one really wanted to look like Pusha T, which a lot of people, so I understand those points, but he lost me with the young boy thing. I like, come on, Jim Jones, you're a 50-year-old man. You listen to NBA young boy? Maybe he is. But if someone said Pusha T is not he's not in my top 50 list, I wouldn't argue. I'm like, all right, cool. Everything is pretty subjective. Like
I think once you get to like 30, over 30 to 40 in that range, it's kind of like those guys are all similar, right? Yeah. For me, the top 20 is probably going to be
is Pusha T in your 50?
I don't know. I would never thought about him on a list. When I think of a list, I don't ever go 50. It'd be hard for me to. I can come up with 50, but I have to do a little bit of thinking. You know,
but you wouldn't put him in 29 though.
Oh hell no. No,
and he's 29. That's a bit high.
I can name 29 guys in the next couple minutes that I think are better than him.
I probably could too. Like if someone said Push T is not in my top 50 or top 30, I'm like, okay. Yeah. I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, I understand. Push T is his subject matter is very limited.
Yeah,
talks about one thing.
Yeah,
very very well.
Sure,
pushing coke. Now, whether you did or not, I don't know. Hector says Cameron is underrated. Definitely. I definitely agree. Cameron is extremely underrated. And props to him. He has a really successful sports podcast right now. Yeah. Like a lot of stuff. Him and Mace. Mace has a weird headline situation.
He does.
Listen, when it's time to go bald, I'm going bald, man. It's like I'm not going to try to fix this. It's like a painted. I don't have a picture, but you guys check it out. It looks weird. Yeah, when you get old, your hairline recedes.
It looks like some of these guys I see, and they have the barbers have the paint and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Buy something and like put on a thing
like a lace front.
It's like I just go bald, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's power in the bald. They don't want,
you know what I'm saying? Because if you gotta be tall, or you gotta at least be fit, then you gotta start working out. You can't be bald and be pudgy, man. You gotta start putting your,
Yeah.
You gotta work out. You gotta get your stuff together.
I mean, that's a lot of work to walk around like that. And you got some of these guys out here melting. It's like they go to the shop, they go home, they're like
some Rudy Giuliani stuff when his stuff was and that looks so gross. But if you want like that dude behind you, when you bald, like you Jordan, no one says that's a problem, right? You look great. Because you're Jordan, you're tall, you're 6 foot something, but you gotta take care of yourself. But I don't know. We'll see. Is any of the games starting anytime soon?
I think it's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, you're right.
It's tomorrow. I think the Lakers play tomorrow. There's another game tomorrow, and then basically, I think getting this weekend, we'll definitely next week Wednesday we'll have some basketball.
Yeah, Wednesday we're gonna have a few games.
Monday, so
so it starts tomorrow. So Wednesday we talk about some of the games that have already passed. See what we're gonna do. I think I'm going to bet on something. One team to go win the whole thing. I'm going to guess it right and make a lot of money, retire. Actually, I want to just bet.
No, not one team. You're going to bet on the Suns because you've been talking about the Suns for the last few weeks. So
I may change my mind. Probably not, though.
Well, I mean, you can always see how things play out. And, if you place a bet now, obviously the dollar amount you could win will be more because it's more time as the playoffs go and the teams become less, the value changes. But, I mean, you could place a couple bets and hedge a bet a little bit and see what you do.
Definitely. I'm trying to make some money, not lose some money. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, we'll definitely have a lot to talk about on Wednesday. Thank you guys for checking out with us on this Monday evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be good out there. Don't crash your car into any restaurants. And
Please
we'll talk
don't.
to you.
Please don't. It's just chicken and waffles, guys. Calm down, please. It's not that serious.
We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Peace.